Hello Muggles and welcome back to my Harry Potter kitchen, the YouTube series where I am baking my way through the Harry Potter books, making all of the fun and magical food and drink featured inside. If you missed last week's recipe for Drupal's best blowing gum, then check out the links down below in the description to catch up. But it's another Magic Monday, so let's see what's next. If you're a fan of all things Harry Potter and you don't want to miss a thing from my Harry Potter kitchen, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Monday when there is a brand new video. But without further ado, let's get back into the story. Okay, so we are back at the trolley and in full swing with our magical treats, so let's see what is next. What she did have were Bertie Bott's Every Flavour Beans, Drupal's Best Blowing Gum, Chocolate Frogs. Let's leap into this recipe. For this recipe, you will need about 400 grams of good quality milk chocolate. And if you want to do any extra decoration, I've also used 50 grams of candy melt and 50 grams of white chocolate. So as well as your chocolate, which you'll need to make chocolate frogs, you will also need a chocolate frog mold. And for this, I am using the Cinereplicas official Harry Potter chocolate molds, which you can pick up at many of the Wizarding World shops and also online. It's really great because it includes the chocolate molds, but also some DIY paper boxes, which you might have noticed on the back of my set. For this recipe, we are also going to temper chocolate. And if you've not heard of tempering before, it's the process of melting and cooling down your chocolate, controlling the temperature to make sure you get a nice shiny finish. So I'm going to tell you all about it, but to prove there is some method to the magic, I'm going to show you what happens if you choose not to temper your chocolate first. Now, the standard way to melt chocolate is either to do it in a bowl in the microwave or over simmering water. For this, all you need to do is add your chocolate in and melt it until it's nice and smooth. To make the process of filling the molds nice and simple, I have made some quick disposable piping bags by taking a piece of baking paper, folding it into a square, and then cutting that in half into a triangle. Then all you need to do is turn it so there is one point facing you. Take the left corner and swing that round up to the top point, and then take the other corner and wrap it around back up to the top point, and then fold this over. All that's left to do is fill that with your melted chocolate and then pipe it into your chocolate frog molds. Just to make sure you get a nice clean finish, take a spatula and scrape off any excess chocolate. Now, if you are looking for a quick and easy method, that is all you need to do. But as I mentioned, it's not going to give you a nice shiny effect that you get on the real chocolate frogs, and also you'll get a much nicer texture and snap if you temper your chocolate. So the first tempering that I'm going to show you is a nice happy medium, and that is where you can do a quick and easy half temper. So this is how it's done. First, you want to get your bowl over simmering water and then break half of your chocolate into the bowl. Stir this through until the chocolate is completely melted. This should take about 3 to 4 minutes, but if you want to get very scientific, you want to bring this up to about 50 degrees Celsius. While this is warming, you want to take the other half of your chocolate and chop it into small chunks. Once the chocolate is completely melted, remove it from the heat and then pour in the remaining chocolate. You'll then want to fold this through, and what you'll notice is the heat of the melted chocolate will start to melt your solid chocolate. This is doing most of the tempering process for you, controlling the heat of the chocolate as it comes to a nice, even temperature. You should notice the chocolate goes slightly thinner and it will also become more shiny. Once it's completely melted, pour it into a piping bag and then pipe these into your chocolate frog molds. You can then pop these into the fridge to set for about half an hour. So that is how you can do a quick and easy temper, but if you're feeling like a pro and you want to go all out, then this is how you do a full temper. For the full temper, you want to break all of your chocolate into your bowl over simmering water. Heat this up, stirring it through until it is completely melted. If you have a thermometer, you want to bring this up to 50 degrees Celsius. Once it hits temperature, you want to remove your chocolate from the heat and pour it onto a slab. Now for tempering, you either want to use marble, metal, or what I find really easy is doing it on a glass turntable. This way you can keep the chocolate and the turntable moving, giving you as much control as possible. Now the trick here is to keep the chocolate moving as it cools down, spreading it evenly across the surface and then bringing it back together in the middle. This process will take about 5 minutes, but you want to keep on going, and again, if you're using a thermometer, you should see it cool down to 30 degrees Celsius. Keep on working the chocolate, moving it gently to the edges and back to the center until it is nice and shiny. Another great reason to use a glass turntable is that you can actually use your hand underneath it to feel the temperature. Once it's good to go, just as before, you want to pour this into your piping bags and pipe it into your chocolate frog molds. So those are the 3 ways that you can melt your chocolate. But if you want to go the extra mile and give these frogs a little bit of stylish magic, then you can also decorate the tops of them, and this is how. For some extra jazzy chocolate frogs, I've melted down some red candy melts and some white chocolate and then put them into my piping bags. Then all you need to do is decorate the bottom of the chocolate frog molds before you put any chocolate in. I've gone for some zigzag stripes with our white chocolate and some dots with our red candy melts. Pop this into the fridge quickly to set for about 5 minutes. Once the base is nice and hard, clean off any bits that are going over the top and then pour in your melted chocolate. Again, take your palette knife and scrape any excess chocolate off the top and then pop these into the fridge to set for half an hour. So while your chocolate is setting, you can move on to making your chocolate frog boxes. Now these can be a little bit fiddly, so I definitely recommend putting some time aside so you can give them the attention that they deserve. To begin, you need to cut out your stencils, making sure you weave in and out of all of the different flaps. Crease all of the edges where you'll need to fold the flaps over. I found it easiest to first do this on the coloured side so you could see where each of the folds are, flip it over and then do it on the back as well. Now unfortunately the instructions don't tell you the best place to start and finish assembling, but what I found easiest to do was to place double-sided sticky tape on all of the tabs around the box and then start at the point that is furthest away from the hinge. You can then fold and stick all of the flaps together at roughly the same time. Once it's got another good hold, a top tip is to take a piece of string or a hairband and tie it around the box. This will help hold it in place while the sticky tape dries. Once your chocolate frogs have set, all that's left to do is pop them out of the mold to show them in all of their glory. And this is the point where you can see that all of the work you did to temper your chocolate was worth it. From left to right, you can see that the ones that we just melted quickly are quite dull in colour, and as they move on, they get shinier. And we're done. All that's left to do is place our chocolate frogs into the boxes, but make sure you keep the lids closed, just so they don't jump out the window. So there you have it, another magical treat from our journey to Hogwarts, and there is so much more to come. So if you don't want to miss a thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there is a new video, and I will see you next time.